Now, what should you get? The Imperial Cutter or the Federal Corvette? That's a question that I've been asking myself, and I'll tell you guys what I did at the end of the video. But this is the Imperial Cutter and this is the Federal Corvette. They're both endgame ships. Now, in size, they are about the same. The Imperial Corvette is bigger. It's, I mean, quite a lot wider and longer. And if you are all about the sizes of ship, if you are an actual size queen, then completely go for it. I mean, if that's the reason. But the Imperial Cutter has about the same hardpoints as well. Now the Imperial Corvette or the Federal Corvette has more hardpoints, I'd say, or not more, but better ones. Too huge, for example, which is extremely useful when you're fighting larger ships and in general. But the Imperial Cutter has better jump range and higher cargo, and significantly higher cargo. Now, the Imperial Cutter also comes with a much more of a price tag than the Federal Corvette, and especially to upgrade it completely. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, about the same price, but the Imperial Cutter is more expensive. Now, there is a reason why you should get the Imperial Cutter, and I feel like that is the road to the Imperial Cutter is just as long as to get the Federal Corvette. But with the Imperial Cutter, you do also get access to the Imperial Clipper, which I think is the most beautiful ship in the game, and that's right. I mean, that's the ship that I chose to get at the end. The reason I didn't go further is because in the beta I played both of the ships a lot, and if you don't notice in the beta, you can just play whatever you want. Everything is cheaper and everything's unlocked. I played them both, and I came to the conclusion that I don't really like ships that are that big, because you really feel it. I mean, at the beginning I thought I want the biggest ship in the game. That's cool. I'm a size queen, you know. But at one point, I thought like, this is fun, but I really, really want a ship that's maneuverable, also relatively big, but maneuverable, strong, and that's why I ended up at the Clipper. Now, sure, the Corvette also has some interesting precursor vehicles like the Federal Dropship, Gunship, and Assault Ship, but personally I do love the Dropship, but the other ships look so much alike that the only reason why I would say go for the Gunship, I think, because it has a hangar bay. That is a very interesting feat, obviously, but other than that, I'd say no. Like, the only reason why I would go for a Federal Corvette is because the Federal Corvette looks amazing. Personally, I think it looks better than the Cutter. But the ships, like the road to getting one of these ships, is so extremely long. Even with the biggest exploits on the world, it will take you a very long time, and that's very good in some aspects. But it's also annoying in the other, where it would just take that long to get something you want. And I mean, at least with the Cutter, you get the Clipper, and the Clipper is a thing by itself. I mean, it's an amazing looking ship. So with that in mind, I personally don't really like the Federal Drop Ship, Assault Ship, and Gunship, mainly because it looks so much alike. But that's just my opinion. Would I mean, if you think the journey is about as important as the destination, then that is maybe something you want to take into consideration. Now, for the ships themselves, the Corvette and the Cutter are different type of ships. You have to understand that. The Cutter is a multi-purpose ship, and the Corvette is actually a heavy fighter ship, a combat ship. Now, the Corvette does have about the same armor as the Cutter has. The Cutter has a little bit more. The Cutter has better shielding. Now, this is all upgradable. Like, this is not something that you should have that big of an issue with. But these are all upgradable. Obviously, this ship is only good if you upgrade it completely, because or else you're gonna have a shitty ship that has like 9 jump range, and that has nothing really that you can use off. Now, the Corvette and the Cutter are both really good at trading. Now, I'd say go for the Cutter if you want to go trading, because it just has more capacity and more jumping range. But other than that, I mean, they're both really good ships to have. Personally, which ship do you want to have? That completely depends on what your playstyle is. If you're someone that is freelance, go all directions. You're doing trading, you're doing fighting, you're doing transportation, you're doing everything. Go for the cutter. But if you're someone who wants to do some serious PvP, you know, hit them with the death lasers on your on the back of the ship. You know, the two heavy, the two huge hardpoints. I mean, go for that. I mean, it's an excellent combat ship, the cutter, or the Corvette. I'm sorry, the cutter also is a good combat ship, but I'd say that the Corvette just is a little bit better because it has a little bit of a better maneuverability. But other than that, there's not really that much of a difference. The Corvette obviously is made for combat, purely for combat. It can do a lot of other things, but it is mainly used for combat. Now, the cutter has a bigger mass lock factor. Now, mass lock factor basically means that some people can't go into jump or can't go into frame shift drive when they're that close to you. So if you're a bounty hunter, you might take the cutter into consideration as well, because it has that mass lock factor that's just a little bit higher. So that's something that's always useful, and it has bigger cargo capacity. So again, I mean, bounty hunting, or I mean pirating, and bounty hunting, by the way. But if you want to go for a pirate ship, maybe the cutter is a better option. Other than that, I mean, they're both amazing. Personally, if I had to choose, I would probably go for the cutter, but that has to do with the fact that I'm already on a high rank with the Imperials. But with looks, I mean, the Corvette looks amazing, and look, it's the best looking ship in the game, I personally think. And I think it's also the strongest. Although the cutter can handle a lot more damage, it's a lot more tankier than the Corvette is. The Corvette just has that extra huge hardpoint that is such a hard-hitting thing. So again, it's a hard decision. Decision is completely yours. Obviously, it takes a very, very, very long time getting the ship. So be ready, you know, to spend a lot of hours playing before you get them, and also be ready, you know, to make sure that you want this ship, because it will be utterly devastating if you spend that much time getting a ship and then halfway through thinking, damn it, I kind of want the other one. I mean, that is such an annoying thing that happens to me way too often in games in general. So make sure you know what you want. And I mean, I was going for the Imperial Clipper, so I got that in like, I don't know how many hours. I don't dare to say. I have a video about it, how to level up really quickly. I think it's still viable. It should be still viable, because it's just the same, like, you know, the same. It's just an exploit, if you will, that you could just use whenever. So that's just how the game is built. But it's, yeah. I mean, that video is online. You can look it up, how to get Imperial rank really quickly, on my channel. Do check it out if you want the cutter for Federation. I don't have a Federation video about that. Maybe someone else has it. You can look it up. Yeah, that's basically it. Now, guys, I will be uploading a video next week somewhere about the Type 10 Defender. I got some interesting things about that chip and what it's going to be look like and stuff like that. So it's going to be an amazing video. And again, thank you guys for watching. So the verdict of everything, like the ending, it's all up to you. Combat, go for the cutter. Trading, exploration, stuff like that, go for the combat, go for the Corvette. I mix them up, it's annoying. Go for the Corvette. Exploration, stuff like that, go for the cutter. Multi-purpose ship. And yeah, other than that, if you just really don't know what you get, I'd say go for the Corvette. I mean, in my eyes, it's just a better ship, but also with looks, but that's just what I personally think. Don't forget to get them at Lee Yong Rui, because I feel like he sells them too, although I'm not 100% sure, but there's a 20% discount of every ship in the Lee Yong Rui Galaxy system, so go there to get them. It will save you a lot of money, I promise. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys later. Do check in for the next video. Subscribe, please. It would be amazing if you guys would subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.